Everybody's patiently been waiting for it, and it's finally here. The thriller event of the fall just dropped on Hulu. I'm, of course, talking about the 2025 version of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Who the fuck was hoping for another version of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Especially when Rebecca De Mornay knocked it out of the park the first time. And let's not forget Ernie Hudson as Solomon. The poor bastard's mom was taking too much Tylenol while he was in utero, but he still managed to get shit done. And the film even has Lloyd Braun from Seinfeld in it as a competent father and husband. What do we have in 2025? Well, I'm glad I asked myself that question, and I'm now going to answer it. Say, before I jump into what will probably be the greatest review you ever hear for this film, if you wouldn't mind latching onto the teat of the subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, I would absolutely appreciate it. This is a highbrow show. This is going to be a spoiler review because, again, it's a new version of The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I won't get into the spoilers, though, till later in the review, but just giving you a heads up. Micah Monroe from It Follows and Longlegs, you know, the film that people pretend is good, but I know the truth, is here as the villain of the film, the villainess, one could say, Polly Murphy. Even the name is harmless. Polly, are you out of your mind? In the original, it's Peyton. That's a solid name. That's a strong, fierce name. Sexy name, one would say. I would say that. She's going to be terrorizing the Morales house, targeting Mary Elizabeth Winstead's character. And I have to say, they went full Karen with her in this movie. The look, the tight bun in the hair, the business suits. I hate it. I don't think it's a good look. And I love me some Mary Elizabeth Winstead normally. She has a couple kids like the original, but her husband this time around, oh my god, this guy is the biggest cuck I've ever seen. Miguel is useless in the movie. There's a scene towards the end that's absolutely hysterical, where Caitlin is under attack and the husband knows something's wrong, so he pulls his daughter from the softball game early and they head home. But when we cut back to them, he's just kind of sauntering down the sidewalk. Oh, we better hurry up and get home to your mom. Scoo-doo-doo. Oh, look at the birds out today. The one thing I'm going to give this film props for is it doesn't attempt to just redo the same story. This is very much Hand That Rocks the Cradle in name only. The plot is almost entirely new. The only thing that remains is that there's a crazy woman who works with a family, she stays with them, and she's plotting her revenge. There's no lovable groundskeeper, there's no pervy doctor, there's no evil wife planning on how she's gonna take over the family. Instead, we have Polly who befriends Caitlin early on, and she's gonna make this family's life a living hell as the movie progresses. And how she does so is quite hilarious in unintentional ways, because for the most part, her version of sabotage is adding some sugar to a sugarless recipe. Adding microplastics to food that shouldn't have it. This is the most I live in California and this is what scares me type of script I've ever seen play out. Now, eventually things will ratchet up to an exciting degree, but it happens so far late in the game, and there are no fun characters in the meantime to get to know. In the original Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Peyton is really good at this game of chess. She gets the board laid out exactly how she wants it, and she starts knocking over the pieces as they come into play. With the new version, it feels like this character is just kind of throwing shit at the wall. Obviously, she has a plan in mind, which is that of revenge, but all the planning in between seems so careless and half-assed, such as the multiple times she's gonna try to come on to the main character in this film. I guess the plan there is Caitlin's going to not want to be with her husband anymore, find him uninteresting. Well, spoiler, she already kind of doesn't think he's that interesting, and double spoiler, he's not. I don't know why she's with him to begin with, but the whole sexual angle where she's flirting with her and whatnot, it just doesn't go anywhere interesting. You know what, there's also no boob shot breastfeeding a stranger's baby, and if we're not gonna even do that, what the hell's the point of this? This film also has a road out front that's more comical than the one found in Pet Sematary, where those giant semis are flying by going like 100 miles an hour. Here it's the same on a smaller scale. Cars are just whipping through this neighborhood, and the stop sign is down, and it's just the most lazy foreshadowing ever smashed over your head. because they cut back to it 2 or 3 times within the first 15 minutes of the movie. And so I knew instantly it was gonna come into play. The way our villains play these roles is night and day as well, where Rebecca De Mornay was very soft-spoken, genteel to the people she needed to be, but then ruthless and quite vicious to those that stepped on her in any way, was very fun to watch play out. And it made sense how she earned the trust of the family so quickly. In contrast, Polly over here looks unhinged from day one. Just looking at this woman as she constantly purses the duck lips and has these smoky eyes just staring into your soul, it's not coming off as pleasant and a joy to be around. Instead, I feel like this woman's gonna lose her mind and attack me at any moment. Thrillers set in the 90s also have a massive advantage when it comes to technology. Even if you're very well off, have a beautiful home, you probably don't have a great security system. But in 2025, it's laughable to see a super wealthy family not have a damn Ring camera, and if they do have one, not use it ever. And I'm pretty sure I saw when they were walking by a wall, there was a security system that they just never use. And on top of that, because they've built up Caitlyn to be this very neurotic person who has a troubled history, who's very protective over her children, you would imagine there'd be a nanny cam somewhere in that house, but no. No nanny cam, no Ring cam, nothing that would easily identify the troubling behavior going on at the house. My favorite ridiculous scene in the new film is Polly is given a recommendation from a woman who supposedly she nannied for 2 full years. Well, later in the game, Caitlyn gets a little suspicious of this woman and does some digging, where she finds herself outside of an AA meeting where she's gonna confront the person because under her recent calls in her phone log from several months ago, she only had to parse through 2 calls total. And so she called the woman back, saw that she picked up the phone and then ghosted the lady, goes over there and Caitlyn confronts her, spilling the beans on what actually happened, which is, drum roll please, the lady felt bad for Polly. So she lied about her being a nanny for 2 years for the family. What? Who does that? I thought perhaps Polly blackmailed this woman, or maybe it was a psycho friend of Polly's. No, just a lady that felt bad for the whole situation. But before we get to the final reveal, Jessica Biel, let's talk about the production of this movie. It is a straight-to-streamer. It has that straight-to-streamer look. It's very crisp-looking visuals. It definitely doesn't have that soft, cinematic look that the original has. And for some reason, the director went all in on these dumb shots where the person's kind of repeated in a 50% opacity on the sides of the frames. It never looks good. I don't really understand the point of even doing it. So the bottom line is you're missing out on nothing if you don't watch this movie. I don't think it's the worst straight-to-streamer I've ever seen. It's engaging enough to keep you focused from like a laughable standpoint. Like, this is ridiculous. The acting's like schlocky and over the top, but whatever. It's watchable crap. I just wouldn't recommend you wasting your precious time on Earth watching this one, unless of course you also decided in your infinite wisdom to chip away at your life reviewing movies online like I did. But let's get to the big climax of the film. The reason Polly is terrorizing this house by adding trans fats to the menu is simple. When she was just a little girl, 8, 9 years old, something like that, her father was having his way with not just her, but Caitlyn, who also knew the family. Except for her name wasn't Caitlyn then. And Polly's name was different too. They legally had them changed because of the psychological torture that went on there. More so for Polly because Caitlyn said, I've had enough of this bullshit. I'm burning this mother to the ground. And that's exactly what she did. She took a lighter to that son bitch and watched the thing burn. Unfortunately, not just the father was in the house at the time, but also the mother and Polly's poor little siblings. I think there was 2 of them, maybe just one. It doesn't matter. And so P Money has been plotting her revenge for like 30 years, waiting for Caitlyn to have a family of her own for Polly to take from her. Much like the original, there's not a big body count in this movie. Only one person dies. It's a friend of the family who, at the behest of Caitlyn, does a little research into this Polly character. He sneaks into her little poolside bungalow, rifles through her trash, brings it back to his place so he can do a little experimentation. short for experimentation. Side note, I also found it very funny that Caitlyn's like, I suppose you can stay living with us since you've been so great for the last couple months. We do have this one room off by the pool. It's nothing special. You got a closet, you got a bathroom, you got a full bed, there's a full kitchen with an oven, a fridge, the whole 9 yards. But you know, this is basically what everybody in America has already, so we're nothing new. We're nothing special. All right, the friend takes the trash back to his house where he proceeds to pour it out onto his kitchen table, as one does. And this is probably my favorite scene in the movie because he pulls up a soaked to the bone tampon, dripping blood, pure red. And we're going to focus on this shot like 4 or 5 times. The director's like, yep, this is the money shot. This is cinema. He puts on the rubber gloves. He starts doing the research, and this is how he finds out who Polly actually is, how she has a history with Caitlyn, and it all really comes together. Unfortunately, as smart as this guy is, he's a fucking idiot. Because instead of informing his friends first about this, he confronts Polly and invites her over. What? Instantly, I'm thinking, well, he's dead. And yeah, he's dead. It happens so pathetically. Polly goes to use the bathroom, comes back for a peekaboo with a bat, hits him across the face, drops him to the floor. Keep in mind, Micah Monroe in this movie looks like she's on the Ariana Grande diet, which consists of, I guess, not eating, because this woman is nothing but bones at this point. I'm kind of concerned for her health, but she drops this guy to the ground. He's like, I could stop you, but instead I'm going to take out my phone and slowly dial 911. What? Polly's like, not on my watch, motherfucker. Oh, okay, we can't do anymore. I'm completely exhausted from that. The final confrontation is now upon us, where our little Polly Pocket heads back to the house. She starts playing the mom card. Caitlyn has lost her mind, becoming a little frantic and unhinged as she realized her pills have been replaced by, I don't know, who cares? They've just been replaced with something else, something that makes her like a rage monster, I suppose. She's not able to see her kids for a day or two, shows back up at the house. Polly answers the door. They get the one-on-one confrontation, short for confrontation, which leads Caitlyn to pull our Polly in for a big mama bear hug, saying, I'm here for you now. I'm sorry for everything I did. I don't care that you killed my friend. It's all right. She didn't even bring up the friend. That's fine, though. Polly's like, nah, I don't think so. Stabs her in the side of the rib cage with a broken piece of glass, dropping MEW right to her ass. And I did rhyme that on purpose. I don't know to what avail. You're not going to keep Mama Bear down for long, though. She grabs the side of the kitchen island to pull herself up. Polly grabs the pan, breaks her hand. Caitlyn's still not down for the count. She starts pushing her around, eventually throwing Polly through the glass window, rendering her unconscious or something. All I'm thinking is, okay, take that pan and start beating this bitch to death with it. Call the cops now while you're looking at her body. Do something to restrain her. Do something like break her legs. I don't care. What does Caitlyn do? She leaves. She goes into the other room to grab her baby, who's starting to cry a little bit. The fucking baby's fine. What are you doing? The dad and other kid are off at that softball game I foreshadowed earlier, remember? He's now on his way home. He's like, scoop-de-doo. Oh, love the work you did on that hedge over there. Real? You get some new clippers? Oh, yeah, I'm just going home to see my wife. I'm pretty sure she's being assaulted right now. It's the nanny. She's pretty hot. We finally hit the crescendo of the film, and this is easily the best moment of the movie. Caitlyn gets in the car with the baby. They start to back out of the driveway. Polly, shot out of a cannon, jumps on top of it. Starts breaking the windshield. And you know what's gonna happen because they foreshadowed it in the lamest way possible. We're going into that death trap road, and just like clockwork, she backs up. Car body slams hers, sending Polly in a triple axle across the road. It is the funniest second shot you will see in quite some time. Absolutely hilarious. I rewound it to watch it again. It's like when my son used to play Beyblades and he would pull that little ripper cord and it would spin around. That's Polly in the air. She's down for the count. Her arm is like over here somewhere, blood all over. It's not a good look for her. And that's about the time Miguel finally gets back home. Oh, hey, what happened? Sorry, we stopped off for burgers. That's good. But I don't recommend you stop off for The Hand That Rocks the Cradle 2025. Just watch the original. It's a classic. And full disclosure, I did not know how well it held up. I figured it would be kind of cheesy by today's standards. So I actually rewatched it with my wife and daughter after this new one that my wife bailed on halfway through. She's like, you're on your fucking own. I'm out of this. We all sat and watched the old one, had a great time. It holds up very well. The dad maybe getting bodied, falling off the stairs and breaking both of his legs was a little much. But outside of that, you have memorable characters, you got some great dialogue, you have a good setting. Everything really fires well. Only other negative I would say is that end is super abrupt. You know, they stop the villain. There is a good climax for about 10 minutes, a good action, you know, like running around the house and whatnot. But then boom, credits hit without just a day later scene, which I always like. I like when they pay it off with the nice healthy ending. Maybe we're back in the breakfast nook, having a little OJ and some pancakes again, but that's fine. Small hangups aside, the original is definitely worth a watch. This new one, yeah, avoid it like the plague. Just like almost all these straight-to-stream or garbage remakes or reboots or whatever you want to call them. That's all I got for you. Let me know if you watch this movie or if you're a little bit more inclined to check out the original. Leave a comment below. Think of subbing to the show. Adam Does Movies on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. I post movie reviews almost on a daily basis, or movie reactions, rants, live streams, all film all the time. And hopefully, I see you next time. Oh, wow, you're still here. Well, since I have you, maybe think about jumping by the old merch store, Adam Does Movies, and pick up one of these Adam Does Movies Halloween tees. It's got Jason on the cover there on the logo, a little Friday the 13th inspiration in time for the holidays. On top of that, maybe think about becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/Adam Does Movies to really help support this one-man band. And that way I can afford to actually put out some candy this year for the trick-or-treaters and not just an empty pumpkin with a sign that says "Take one only." Implying that some fat little crap took all of them and left right away. Okay, that's all I got. Take care.